Weight loss, a hot topic lately, because this is a problem that a lot of people struggle with, and we are finally realizing that it's a serious problem. It contributes to a lot of illness and so on. So we are going to talk about rapid weight loss. How much is too much? How fast is too fast? Those are the things we're going to talk about today, with 3 possible complications of rapid weight loss. Welcome to those of you who are meeting me for the first time. I'm Dr. Amina Goodwin, a physician and a health coach, and I help you to figure out how to eat better so that you can feel better and have less interaction with the healthcare system, and in general, get on with your life. All right, so we're going to dive right in. Obesity, of course, we know is a worldwide problem, particularly in the developed world. Really, most people are overweight, and a third of people are actually obese. So it's a real problem. Now, there are exciting ways to help people to lose weight, particularly some drugs, a lot of exciting medications that work really, really well. But in a lot of these cases, or maybe not a lot, but in a significant few of these cases, of these options for weight loss treatment, there is drastic loss of weight. And so the question comes about, okay, how much is too much, right? What can happen if we lose weight too rapidly? So the first problem that can arise if weight is lost too rapidly is that the metabolic rate can actually slow down. Imagine if you are going along, your body's accustomed to getting a certain amount of energy. Suddenly you cut the energy supply. So you are a grown person accustomed to 2,400 calories, let's say, and suddenly you're slashing that calorie intake to 1,600 calories. And there are people who literally do that. That is a massive shock to the body. You are slashing your calorie intake by about a third. The body has no choice but to adjust its use of energy. Remember, the body likes steady state homeostasis in general, and so it's going to adjust to the point where it is using less energy because it doesn't know when it is going to have a recovery of the energy input that is accustomed to, right? And so a lot of times, yes, you will lose weight and you will lose large amounts of weight, but at the same time that is happening, it is a massive stress to the body because it is so abrupt that, you know, you're like, the body's like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know. And then you start feeling a little sluggish, a little lackluster in terms of energy, because your body is conserving. It's in conservation mode, and it becomes harder and harder to lose weight as time goes by with these things. So you get to some sort of steady state, but at the same time, you're still in this sort of lackluster, sluggish mode. You oftentimes will just sort of ease up on the diet because you just don't feel good. And then once you start easing up on the diet, you start putting the weight back on again. And that's the big contributor to this yo-yo sort of cycling of dieting in a lot of people. When you don't feel good, you stop, you regain, you start again, and so on and so forth, right? So it cannot be any of these quick fixes with rapid weight loss, but it has to be a very measured, intentional, smart way, particularly with the body getting the nutrients it needs. You might not need as much as 2,400 calories, but you don't want to slash your calorie intake so drastically all at once. It has to be a gradual decrease down to what might be expected for a grown person, an adult. Of course, the intake varies, but generally speaking, for an actual normal sized adult, well, let's just say for an average adult, 1,600 calories is not going to be enough, right? So slowing down of your metabolism or your metabolic rate is going to be one of the complications of dropping your weight too quickly. Second thing I want to mention here, and this might be the most important one, this is malnutrition, and specifically muscle loss. So malnutrition, yes, a lot of times when people are trying to lose weight, they are going to choose a low-fat diet. If you're choosing a low-fat diet, it means that you are automatically getting low amounts of those fat-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins include vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, but those are in fat, right? In a fatty type of nutrients. So suddenly you're having everything fat-free, and though some foods might be fortified with some of these vitamins, it's just not going to be in as usable a form as if it was in its naturally occurring fat. So you can get deficiencies in these vitamins. That's something to be aware of. But more importantly, like I said, is the muscle that you will lose. So you're losing weight because you're restricting calories, and in a lot of cases too, there is some amount of exercise, and so you will lose muscle mass as well. Why muscle mass loss is dangerous is that muscles actually use a large portion of energy we take in from our food. So if you're having a decrease in the tissues that use energy, that energy is going to go elsewhere in your body. And whatever you're not using immediately from moving around and exercise activity and so on will end up being stored as fat, because you just have much less muscle to use it and store some as glycogen. You have to be cautious about losing excess muscle. I heard a doctor say, I wish I remembered the name of this doctor, but he I heard him giving a talk, and he was talking about how he prefers to work with weight loss virgins. And that might sound weird, but essentially what he said is that weight loss virgins are people who have never gone on a crash diet before. They've never attempted to lose weight before. And what he found is that people who for the first time are now going on a weight loss plan, they end up losing more weight in a more sustainable form, and in a form where they were able to basically maintain that weight loss. This is compared to those people who had cycles of dieting, crash dieting, going back, rebounding to the normal foods, dieting again, because with those people, every time they went on a crash diet, they lost a bit of muscle mass. Then they rebounded, they would gain more weight because they had less muscles present to use the energy. They would go back on another crash diet because of this rebound in weight gain. And then with that second crash diet, they would lose a little more muscle mass as well. And every time they went on a diet, they would lose a little bit of muscle each time, which meant that they would rebound higher and higher, and it was harder and harder to actually lose weight as time went by. And so that really makes a lot of sense, because you need your muscles to help you maintain a good, strong metabolic rate, and for you to be able to use and burn a good proportion of the energy that you're getting from the food. So one of the dangers of drastic weight loss. And then the third one that I'm going to mention is actually the development of gallstones. That's actually a risk of rapid weight loss. One of the things they tell people who have bariatric surgery, bariatric surgery, one of the things they have to look out for is gallstones. Now, gallstones are a thing that can happen just in general with the obese state and with the having high cholesterol, especially high triglycerides, because it really is just a lot. It's excess triglycerides, and they back up in the liver and can back down into the gallbladder and just condense into stones. But separate from that, with rapid weight loss and going on extreme diets and having fewer calories, especially less fat, it means that you're not needing as much bile to help digest this food, because it's less food and less fat and so on. And so you have the bile sort of staying back in the gallbladder and just getting more concentrated and more sluggish, because it's just not being emptied out. And once you get it with a lot of sludge, then you have the sludge clumping and forming stones. So that's the third potential risk of rapid weight loss. So just to summarize them again, the first one is a slowing down of your metabolic rate, which increases your chance of a rebound and regaining weight after, whatever this crash diet may be. 2 is malnutrition, especially muscle loss. And 3 is the development of gallstones. So no rapid weight loss. The best way to lose weight is probably to improve and adjust your diet in a way that you're eating foods that are generally highly nutritious. When your body gets the nutrition it needs, you don't feel hungry. And that's the problem. Getting food that is devoid, that is lacking in nutrients. A lot of the processed foods, the packaged foods, they don't have enough nutrients, and so you just keep feeling hungry. 2 hours after you eat, you're feeling hungry, and every time you eat, you're getting more energy than nutrients, and you're not using all this energy, especially if you've lost your muscle. So you end up storing this energy as fat for future use, but the future need never comes, and it's just a vicious cycle. All right, so hope you all found this video helpful. Go ahead and get some nutritious food. Feel free to eat them and enjoy them, because you will less likely get hungry rapidly. You won't need to snack on these junk foods that will cause you to just store. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click like. Bye.